world has been arguing about it.
Get in the shot that will finish things in.
Oh, the uppercut.
What an uppercut by.
Welcome back to Fantasy Fights. This time Sonny Liston goes up against Mike Tyson. And let's look at the comparison here. Both of them have impressive records. Liston has a height advantage, 3 inches. Weight is about very similar. The big difference is Liston has a 13-inch reach advantage. He's got a longer reach than anybody Mike Tyson has ever fought. It's a big advantage for Liston. And you can see their prime years.
Wearing the white and black trunks from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Sonny Liston.
Introducing, in the blue corner, fighting out of Catskill, New York, weighing 221 1/4 pounds. He is undefeated in his professional career with 27 wins, no defeats, 25 KOs. He is the challenger, Mike Tyson.
Cannot be saved by the bell.
Okay, here is Tyson in some of his classic matchups. This is Frank Bruno.
If he doesn't answer it, Richard Steele makes in.
Here he is against Michael Spinks, winning the Unified Heavyweight Championship. Here he is defeating the former champion, Larry Holmes, knocks him cold. Now here's an example of fighters that gave Tyson trouble. Large heavyweights, much like Sonny Liston. Here's Bone Crusher Smith. He went 10 rounds against Mike Tyson. Holding. Not that Liston would be holding that much, but he had a longer reach than Bone Crusher.
The referee flicking the gloves away there to stop them hanging on. Oh, what a punch up right away. They're not holding back anything, I promise you that.
Here's Tony Tucker, who also went 12 rounds against Tyson. Now, both these men lost their decisions against Mike Tyson. And Tyson was in his prime at that time, but see the holding. Neither one of these fighters have a reach as long as Sonny Liston.
Again, a right hand, but he took a right from Tyson.
They went the distance against him. Now, here's Buster Douglas. Douglas is going to knock Tyson out in the 10th round.
One-eyed fighter. Rolling willingly just to try to get in the shot that will finish things in.
Oh, the uppercut.
What an uppercut by Douglas.
And he was another fighter that was 6'4", had a long reach. Big fighters gave Tyson a lot of trouble.
It's over. It's over.
Mike Tyson has been knocked out.
Unbelievable.
Okay, now we're going to take a look at Sonny Liston.
Westfall missing some of his punches in this first round. Liston making them count.
Westfall was one of the top contenders, never had been knocked down, and you can see Liston knocks him out. This is a fight that led, this was a nationally televised fight, and led to the insistence that Liston get a shot at the title against Floyd Patterson. And you can see he's not, Westfall's not moving real well.
Westfall caught a combination left and right, and as you saw...
Okay, now this was one of the toughest fighters in the world. Most people avoided him. Sonny Liston avoided nobody. This is Cleveland Williams out of Houston, Texas. Now remember, this is in 1959. This is not the same Cleveland Williams that fought Muhammad Ali in 1966. He'd been shot in 1964, and he was never the same after that. He was one of the top contenders when Liston went against him. Look at the combinations in close. Cleveland Williams was a beast.
When Liston stays in close,
Liston knocked him out in the second round and the third round. They fought twice.
They decided edge with that reach advantage over Sonny Liston. And Liston is responding to the coach.
Notice how Liston repels punches. Just goes right through him. It's like he's not even there. And remember, this was when he was in his prime. This is 1959. He fought Muhammad Ali in 1964. He was actually past his prime when he fought Ali. Williams is unloading on him, and you see he has no problem with him. Watch this left hook. That's how much power Liston had. Williams' nickname was the Big Cat. He's cat-like quick. And you can see he's well put together.
6, 7, 8.
This is how Liston intimidated his opponents, because he would go right in for the kill, much like Mike Tyson. Here he is in 1962. He finally got a crack at the heavyweight champion, Floyd Patterson. Patterson was very similar to Mike Tyson as far as his style. Very fast hands, about the same height. Now, obviously, Mike Tyson was a lot stronger fighter. He had about 20, 25 pounds on Patterson, but they were very similar. This is the rematch. Both of them were first-round knockouts. You can see Liston is just incredibly strong. Patterson's a heavyweight champion of the world. He's knocked out twice in the first round. Patterson went 12 rounds with Muhammad Ali just a year later.
Runs into a right uppercut, which sets up the challenge.
Notice the big jab. The jab is considered one of the best in heavyweight history. He's got a left hook, right cross. Patterson's trying to get inside on his body, but that's real typical of Liston. He'll hold and punch with the other hand. He's so overpowering. See, he's doing it again. He's just throwing Patterson around like a rag doll.
The challenger's long right hand grazes the champion's chin, but Liston's countering left hook is on target and sets up the second knockdown.
So that was his title defense. He only had one. This next one would be against Cassius Clay. Now let's look at Sonny Liston's strength. Incredible jab, KO power, tremendous boxing ability, head movement. He's a really strong defensive fighter. He could take a punch and, of course, intimidating. He was the first really intimidating fighter. Weakness, limited hand speed. I think most people would agree with that. Mike Tyson, his strengths were fast hands. He had some of the fastest hands in the heavyweight division, the history of it. Power in both hands, head movement. Prior to 1989, when he was under the leadership of Rooney, he had a lot of head movement, combinations, and he was also intimidating. Weakness, height, reach, boxing ability, no jab whatsoever, and ability to adapt. Let's look at the comparison chart. You can see hand speed is a big advantage by Mike Tyson. Boxing ability, big advantage by Liston with that jab. Both of them have tremendous KO power, also have really strong chins in their prime. Size, they weigh about the same. Defense, Liston has a big advantage there. He's a really good defensive fighter, hard to hit. Endurance, both of them in their prime were well-conditioned fighters. They both could go the limit. Adaptability, this was one of Tyson's biggest weaknesses. Had a hard time adapting. Liston was very adaptable to his opponent. Foot speed, this was a hard one. I'm going to give Tyson a slight advantage there. I don't know how strong that is. Strength, both of them have strength. Jab, Liston has a big advantage, 84 inches. Cuts, neither one were real susceptible to cuts. Reach, as I said, Liston has a big advantage. And body attack, Mike Tyson was one of the best body attack fighters in the history of the division. And the outcome, Liston 6'3", that is pretty convincing right there. Okay, we're going to talk about some misconceptions in dealing with Sonny Liston. In the second Clay fight, it wasn't legitimate. Liston took a dive, the phantom punch. Liston's bad acting, flopping on the canvas, indicating he clearly was not hurt by the punch. He wanted out of the fight. Why he threw the fight was all kinds of reasons. Clay was a member of the Black Muslims under Elijah Muhammad. Malcolm X had been assassinated 3 months earlier. The Black Muslims movement was fighting for recognition. It was vital that Clay win the fight. Liston also had strong ties to organized crime and the mafia. Misconceptions, Liston was a quitter. That's what a lot of people think about him. He injured his shoulder leading up to the first Clay fight. He missed several weeks in training. Liston quit on his stool at the beginning of the 8th round. His shoulder was dislocated. This was according to his ringside physician. Liston was a 7-1 favorite. That's why he did not postpone the fight. He thought it would just be a walkthrough, much like Patterson, a first-round knockout. Age was always disputed for the big guy. His birth date goes all the way back to 1927, 1932. If he was born in 27, he fought Clay in the first fight at the age of 37. Liston served 2 years for armed robbery in 1950. That was where he learned to box. Liston was arrested once again in 1957 for assaulting a police officer, taking his gun, dropping him in a trash can. He served 9 months in 57. Liston was the 24th child of 25, born to a sharecropper in Arkansas. He was beaten repeatedly by his father. He finally left home. Liston was run by organized crime. He was not allowed to fight for the title for 2 years because of his associations with the mob, and he could not even get a license in the state of New York to fight. If you remember, both those championship fights did not take place in New York City. Now let's look at Mike Tyson. He had a great deal of success under Kevin Rooney, pictured there with him. And in 1988, after the Michael Spinks fight, Don King took over. Tyson was never the same. He never had anywhere near the head movement after Don King took over. And then there's Cus D'Amato, who discovered him as a youngster. He died in 1985. Jim Jacobs passed away, another one of his managers, in 1988. Don King took control of Mike Tyson. Finally, Tyson sued King for $100 million in damages in 1992. Tyson settled out of court for $14 million. John Horn replaced Don King and later Shelley Finkel. Now let's look at the results of the fight. Liston is the most aggressive and calculating fighter Tyson has ever faced. Liston's jab controls the fight, limiting Tyson's offensive attack. Liston's strength inside not only matches Tyson's strength, but Liston is getting the better of the inside exchanges. Liston was overpowering with that jab and his strength. Tyson's eyes begin to swell from Liston's telephone pole jab. Tyson is down twice in the 8th round, and the referee steps in and stops the fight. Liston is declared the winner. This would be very common result of a Liston fight. Keys to the fight: Liston would load up behind his jab, keeping Tyson off balance. In close, Liston would have the ability to tie up Tyson and limit his inside power. Tyson would prove to be a difficult target, staying low with constant head movement, just like he did prior to 1989. Keys to the fight: contrary to popular belief, Liston rarely took chances. His superior boxing ability would prove to be the difference, as well as his excellent jab. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button, comment, and share, and be sure and subscribe. Thanks again.